And we're live. My name is Kirk Kerber, and this is video 2 called The Basics. You can find the link to video 1 right down here somewhere. So, I made notes, okay? My name is Kirk Kerber. I'm a trauma therapist. I'm certified in 3 or 4 types of trauma recovery for PTSD, with a specific emphasis on one certification that is for transitioning transgender clients. I'm also a working professional psychic medium. I've been a professional psychic medium for over 10 years, and let me just try and get into my body and come to the breath. I'm making these vids late at night. I'm having a hard time sleeping, so you're kind of my nighttime buddy. You can't wait for inspiration to show up. You have to begin, and then when you start the task, if it's creativity, in the middle of it somewhere, the inspiration will show up. So sometimes you just got to hit your mark, especially as a dancer, an actor, a musician, poet, writer. I do meet clients face to face for mediumship work, and if they want a live Zoom call, it depends on what they want. But if they want a live mediumship right on camera, you can't wait for inspiration to show up. You have to literally be ready to be in that trance and answer their questions and connect them to what they want to be connected to. You have to answer their questions. And there's several different things that a healer, and I talked about this in the first video, a healer can do, as far as I'm a healer who happens to be a psychic medium. But I'm a healer first and foremost. So if I have a session with a client, it's somehow to get rid of a stagnation. They're stuck somewhere. Maybe they're stuck and they need a message to a relative, but I really don't advertise that I will meet you, connect you to your dead relatives. In fact, on my website, I actually say, I think I've only had 1 or 2 clients come to me and say, I want to talk to my dead mother or something. I'm not really known for that. I'm known for reading a person's soul arc. And I'm really tired. I don't want to do this. We're not going to put this online. No. I'm fucking depleted, man. I'm really depleted from the COVID, and I've had COVID 3 times. Maybe I should have done a practice vid, because I don't know, dare to prepare, and I'm not really prepared, and it's winter, and I'm just pissed off. Although I am working at the moment. Why don't we leave it there? I'm going to try and... I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I feel. You know, that shit happens. And I'm supposed to give love and light and hope and inspiration. And I feel like I just don't have it. I feel like the gasoline tank is empty, like I'm running on fumes, and What do you do when, you're here to inspire people and give them hope and you feel hopeless? It does happen. It happened because my dog is gone and she was like my soulmate. And I just kind of like, all I can do is just kind of think about her and how much I miss her. Doing nothing. Just running around the house asking for stuff. Where's my food? Where's my toy? The basics, really what you're doing here is you took a human body to expand your soul. That's about it, to learn something. It's like a class, and it's really true. And we have to deal with things like karma and love and magic and shadows. One of the things I get asked is if you're a psychic medium, what's it like to die? I do get that question. How does it feel to die? Because I've actually escorted a lot of souls to the other side as a shaman. The shaman is very familiar with death. And I mean, if I came on here during the middle of a fucking worldwide pandemic and I was just like, here I am and I'm expanding my brand and like something would be, in my opinion, and my dog just died on top of it. She had COVID. I had COVID 3 times already. If you like came on here and were just like, hi, I'm Mr. Perky. I'm the Perky Psychic Medium giving love and hope and inspiration. It's fucking brutal right now. It is. It's like, it's intense and the world is never going to be the same. So, maybe I will put this online. I mean, there are people that will. I had a core audience from my TV show. I produced over 700 TV shows about metaphysics and spirituality. I know I sound like a raving, not a raving lunatic, but just kind of like a lost soul. If you don't look in the mirror once or twice during the day, during this COVID, let me see, we're in the 2nd year, and right now it's Omicron. So now you have to get a booster, and, none of the shots you're putting in your body have been tested, really. You're like a fucking human guinea pig. Plus, you've got the other flu shot on top of it. Are they like interacting? All this stuff. Anyways, what's it like to die? Believe it or not, to take a life in a human body is really, it's a gift. And my first teacher taught me that, and I was 24 and just getting sober. I got sober in 1984. Then I went to family program in 1987. And I started working on the food issues and the money issues, and then later the sex issues. So I've been in recovery now close to 40 years working on a variety of issues. So this is what a clear person looks like, you might be a little scattered. When I was 3 years sober, 13 years sober, I thought I had all the answers. And then I got to be like over 25 years sober. And like, yeah, all of my answers turned to just bigger questions. But, I do a couple of things. I give a very specific type of mediumship and a very specific type of reading. And I probably need to clarify that more and more and more online. The reading is a life reading, and it's about your soul and your soul plan and your past lives. So it's not really like people will say, I want a reading about work, or I want a reading about romance, or my husband, or my lover. And I don't really give those types of readings, even though I've studied the tarot cards for over 25 years. Uh, because I'm a healer first and foremost, I I give these types of readings that, first of all, those are the readings I get. They're very involved, and they're going to answer questions you've had about yourself that you didn't really even know you were asking. Uh, my readings are like answers to prayers you didn't even know you were praying. And it's hard to, I'm not here really selling it. I'm here more explaining. It's hard to kind of put that in one or two paragraphs on a website, but people still show up and come to me. The people I'm supposed to read for, those are the people that find me. If you found me now, but if you follow reincarnation, which the human plane and the earth plane is not the only place to reincarnate. And I've heard people say, well, this is my last lifetime and I just want to get purified and work all of my lessons and have my life be really hard. And then at the end, like, I'm going to go back to God and say, this is my last lifetime, I'm never coming back here again. And nothing could be farther from the truth, actually. I hear people ask me and talk about, are you an old soul? Is he an old soul? Sometimes a very, very old soul just wants to have a life where they just come and they hang out and like nobody knows they're an old soul, and they kind of put a firewall up. So I can see things like that in a reading as well, you know. So you have like a primary energy that the people put out to the world. It's like your sun, moon, and rising signs. And then you have your core, like the core truth of the person. And so you're reading their heart. You don't read the mind. The mind is worthless and it's full of chaos. You don't read the mind. You read the heart, which is the soul. And then if you're a interdimensional healer and psychic medium like myself, you have access to other information about them. And my type of gift is really in 100% loving service to that person and their soul and their involvement. So I'm not really that concerned that I'm a psychic medium and I have the gifts that I have, because they're not here. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to just be in service to the gift and honor the gift, and that the gift wants to come through me, and that there's probably avatars that I am connected to that get me the information, but the information is only for that person and it's just for their reading. And there's just not a lot of people that can give the type of reading I give, which also includes past lives. So, there's astrologers, there's other tarot masters, but they're not really healers. And they're not going to be able to tell you the things that are going to repair you and heal you in this lifetime to get you fully present in your body. So I read from a lot of different areas, and the reading comes over the course of 5 to 7 hours. There are people that write me, and they write me a letter, and they want to tell me on email their coming out story, and so I kind of get a lot of the psychic reading right then and there, and they may not hire me. A lot of people just call me, and if you're one of those people, I love to get letters. So kirktv@gmail.com. If you want to tell me your coming out story, I personally return every single video. But if the person buys the life reading, then that reading, from the minute they put the funds into my account, the reading begins, because by agreeing to pay, they are agreeing to have the reading, that you're agreeing to be read from that minute forward. Now, I usually book about a week in advance, sometimes 10 days, but I'm still getting that person's reading. And I say that on my website. A lot of the reading, most of the reading is done either before or after. Sometimes I meet with a person face to face, but most of the time not. I talk to them on the phone. What's going on? What were you thinking? I do have an assessment assessment appointment session, where before you even get a reading, you have to go through this consultation, and I tell you, I ask the person directly, what kind of reading are you looking for? What kind of answers are you looking for? And because everybody's idea of what a reading is different. So I tell them, listen, my readings are unbelievably dense. It'll take you 3 to 6 months, if not a year, to absorb and accept the entire reading. They're life-altering, life-changing readings, and they can take anywhere from 3 hours. If the person is really like an old, advanced soul, I find that those readings come really fast, and I get an entire download, and it takes me like 1 to 3 hours max. And so I can either write it all out before we meet in an email and say, here are the basics I got in your reading, and during our face-to-face, I will go over all of those. And then some of the readings they involve other people around the person and their karmas with all these people. And so those readings take a little longer, because you're reading not just them and their soul, you're reading them, their soul, and their relationships with these people. And then I don't give advice, even though I'm a spiritual advisor. So I tell people, as your spiritual advisor, I advise you to do this. No, but I don't give advice and say you absolutely have to do this. I don't give financial advice with specific regard to, should I sell this stock, or should I buy this stock, or something like that. I don't do that. So the assessment is kind of, I found it's going to save you some time and some money. It's going to save me some time. So people, will say, all right, the main thing that's going on is my husband. Okay, should I leave my husband? That's what the reading's about. That's what I want to know. You still end up getting a life reading. The husband is going to be in there. So during the reading, I'm going to see, okay, there's like 40 lifetimes with this other soul. And I'm going to say, okay, in this lifetime, he's your husband. In the last lifetime, he was your father. In the last lifetime before that, he was your mother, and you were in a different gendered body. And what is it about you two that is so magnetic? And are you willing to stop it? Or because most souls in a life reading, when I look at the main partner or the main child that the person's attracted to, person is associated with, like if you're a mom and one of your kids you're closer to, then we read all of those lifetimes and we just see you guys are just like besties on the other side. And, so this whole thing, like, this is my last lifetime and I'm going to be done. People get addicted to the earth plane. I can just tell you that right now. Oh, they just do. They get addicted to taking a human body, and they get addicted to roping all their friends into it. And so, you might be done, but then your partner, soulmate, husband is like, I'm not done and I need you to come back with me. So, if I could really like throw one thing out and tell all of my clients, the whole thing about soul age, it really doesn't matter. A person like me that has had an uncountable numbers of lifetimes helping people, like that seems to be my riff. And if you look at your north node in astrology, it will tell you really what your last lifetime was and what you're really focusing on. And my north node has to do with that I was a healer in all these an uncountable number of lifetimes helping people. I might have been a doctor or a teacher or a veterinarian, but it was all the filter and the theme of being a healer. And one of my things that my cross to bear is I help people so much that I can't stop healing, even when it's not my place to. In the case of a client, yep, you get the full Kirk Kerber, warm and fuzzy, intense healing. I'm going to heal your whole aura. And what are we at? 23 minutes. This is not my best vid, but, just keep listening, because this is the stuff that, if you're a new medium and you're in your 20s, you got to find out how the gift works for you. What kind of readings are the best for you? What do you really like to focus on? I didn't know that I could even read past lives, and then I had to have an emergency operation. This is actually true. And they sliced me open, and I couldn't walk for about a year, and I was in bed on triple heroin, and didn't leave the apartment. And for some reason, when I had these series of breakdowns and operations, I was in bed sick another time for over a year. Every time I would come out of it and kind of like get back into my body and recalibrate and like, all right, I'm still here and I didn't die, then like a stronger new gift would show up in my readings. So, if you don't know what you're doing, that's okay. It took me around 40 years in this lifetime to figure out what my readings are. Not to tell people I give basic tarot readings. If you want one, I'll give it to you, but that's not what I do. That's not how my gift works. So it just takes a really long time. But what I would tell you as a person that's really spiritually gifted, do you like to touch people? Maybe your gift is directly touching them to heal them. You might be a knower, which is a form of a gift. You might be clairvoyant. You might see their future, see things on their timeline. that you could tell them about. And in my case, it's like I have all 7 gifts of the spirit, the gift to know, the gift to feel, the gift to smell, energy, to hear messages, see messages. And then there's like 2 or 3 more above your head where you can just draw information from, the 4th dimension up to the 9th. And my body is like this huge divining rod of to get information specifically for you. So I think my gift is as powerful as it is because I don't fuck around with it. I'm not a fucked up person. I'm not a fucked up witch. So I don't read people's private stuff. It's a no. If you misuse the gift, you dissipate the energy. When you use the gift as it's intended, I would be known as a white witch, even though I can draw as a triple Gemini and Pisces rising. I draw from both energies. It's inevitable. But like I said, ultimately I'm a healer, and I, am here to heal you. I'm here to end suffering, so I would be called a white witch. I'm trying to just do what I do. And why I'm here, like what's on my soul plan, my soul arc, I'm here to create medicine. And I don't think I've created the right medicine just yet. Some people write books, and that's a medicine. Some people make a movie. Some people sing, and that is a type of medicine. Some people write music and songs. That's medicine, and I don't think I have found the way to make the medicine I'm going to make, and I don't know why. I specialize in people that are stuck. So usually they'll be in a dark night of the soul, or they'll be stuck, and I don't mean just for a week. They've been stuck for more than 5 years, and they're about to jump off a cliff. And so they come to me, and my reading and my energy gets you unstuck. And getting unstuck doesn't always feel good, but you want a little pain now or a lot of pain later. Shakti Namaste. There's the shaman just checked in here. Okay, finally. Let me see. It's 1:30 a.m. Whoops. So, yeah, I don't know where I was. I have been very far away from myself. If you don't have a vision, they say, without a vision, the people shall perish. And so a lot of times, mostly, I don't really read for a lot of young people, and I don't really read a lot for what would be called a young soul. The young souls, they just don't come to me. All the people that I have been slated to read for, or that are attracted to me, are unbelievably ancient souls, and we've probably all worked together before. How I do help the young souls is I make videos. I had a TV show for 20 years before COVID about metaphysics and spirituality. And I wrote extensively for 10 years, blogs about spirituality and metaphysics and mediumship. So I think that's about, you need to, as a new medium, I also moderate a forum on Quora called Psychic Medium Space, which I birthed, I founded it, and now I moderate it. We're going on 15,000 readers, people that have joined, and then we get anywhere around 12,000 hits on people reading content. And you can ask any question. So, questions about psychic mediumship. Now, we always get this thing, isn't everybody psychic? That's kind of like saying, isn't everybody have the ability to play an instrument? Isn't everybody musical? Okay, true. If I take piano lessons, it's not going to make me a musician, a natural born musician that was writing songs when I was 6 and 7 years old. So there are people that they walk in with unbelievably specific things. And so in my case, I had my first meditation experience at around 10 years old. And I was really doing mediumship things, and I didn't even know it, for kids in grade school. They would ask me questions, and I would just kind of go into a trance and answer their questions. So, like I said, psychic ability, there's people, everybody is psychic. Well, okay, if I sing a Stevie Nicks song, does that make me a singer? No. So it does run along a continuum of like low psychic activity, maybe intuition, maybe some spiritual gifts, maybe some spiritual hunches, to then full-blown psychic medium. I've been doing this work for over 35 years. I gave readings for free for 20 years. And, I use the gift because it's easier to use the gift in loving service to others than it is to resist the gift. So if you're a painter and, you're a natural born artist and a painter and you're not drawing and painting, you're going to feel unbelievable amounts of pain. If you're a musician and you were born a musician and that's not what you're doing with your time, you're going to feel pain. And so God creates this thing that makes us, when we use what we walked in with to the betterment and benefit of others in loving service, we feel at peace, we feel whole, we feel sane. When I give a reading, I'm totally nervous, but I'm the only person that can give this type of reading with the past lives, with the soul arc, and answer certain questions about your life and yourself. And there's very few people that can do it. And, or they're available. Or you can find them. So on that forum over at Quora, I get a lot of people that say, well, everybody's psychic. And a lot of them say, I don't really know why you charge. And I said, I'm charging for my time and my 40 years of experience as a seasoned reader. And so there is psychic ability. Everybody is psychic, and all of your senses can be operating in a heightened state. But are you capable of sustaining 8 hours of psychic mediumship for 3 or 4 people all day long? That's called a seasoned reader. And so the people I interviewed on my TV show, and, what I talk about is I'm a seasoned reader. And there are things that, like, in the consultation that I just tell people, I'm not getting anything, or I'm not your guy. Like, I can just tell whether I'm supposed to read for somebody or not. I'm not your guy. I know this person does that really well, and I think you'd probably be a lot better off with this other person. So, yeah. Then you get like a crazy Tiger Woods. And for the last 50 years, all Tiger Woods does all day long is swing a golf club. Or you get a Stephen Curry that has been shooting baskets, for 25 years. That's all you do. That's all you talk about. That's all you think about. So I would, really ask you and tell you, because we're trying for accountability in the spiritual healing arts as well as transparency. So, yeah, you know what? If you're in your 20s, you need to figure out what your gift is. You need to be mentored by a person like me. You know what I'm saying? You need to go and talk to other psychics and watch other psychics and actually go and pay other psychics. You know, I talked about it in the first video, how like I went to a couple fake psychics and I knew they were fake. And I just was like, let's just see what a fake psychic does. Then I went to somebody I thought actually was a great psychic, this astrologer. And this guy showed up drunk, 35 minutes late. And I thought I was going to get an astrology reading. And he started like quasi channeling. And I was like, what the fuck? And nothing, he made all these predictions. And I was like, this isn't even what I fucking hired this guy for. And none of it came right. None of it came true. None of it, you know, I'm not a predictive reader. Like, that's the other reason why I have the consultation is I tell people I don't give predictive readings. Even though there are things that I will see on your timeline in this lifetime, I know are going to happen. And I can tell you the age they're going to happen. And so I'm not really telling your future so much as just reading the timeline of what you wrote. You can opt out of certain things as a person, as a soul. Like I can get up and be like, have somebody look at something. You're going to be 70. This is going to happen. You can knock something off of your timeline and say, I'm not up for it. You can break social contracts, energetic contracts with certain people on your timeline also. If you get, you know, you're in your body and the person's a fucking dick and you're sick of this bullshit, you know, but you have some kind of karmic relationship with this person, you know, you're going to let this person gaslight you. You're going to let this person fuck with you and your soul and your livelihood and rape you. That's when people like me show up and say, do you want to do a tie cutting? We can do a tie cutting and a global banishment and say, I'm not available to work out the soul contract in this lifetime anymore. I'm done and I've had it. You can say that. But you would really have to go and find a person like me to be able to tell you that. So, a lot of it is, you don't know what you're going to get until you lift the lid on the reading. So like I said, every reading is different. You know, a lot of it is psychic counseling. And it's, so the mediumship, like these people see Teresa Caputo and they're like, is that what you do? And I'm like, that isn't so unbelievably juxtapositioned far away from what I am and what I do. I can't even tell you. She's one type of medium. And although I think she's legitimate, it's reality TV. You know, a lot of these, there was like some 20-year-old gay guy. I'm gay, actually. So it's not a dig on this gay kid. It's this younger gay kid, and he had a TV show for like 2 seasons called My Name is Something. I can't remember. And I watched it, and I was like, that's a crock of shit. It doesn't really work that way. So, you know, I'm not particularly, I don't sell myself as a predictive psychic where I'm going to like, are you going to tell my future? Am I going to have karma? Like, it is along your timeline. It can be along your timeline to have money. So in a roundabout way, I need some water. Excuse me. Hang on. Oh. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. In a roundabout way, that does tell your future, and the money would show up in the cards as well. So I'm like a triple threat. I'm going to throw the cards. The cards are going to be on your life rating. So we're looking for the major arcana cards. Just water. And then, I'm going to probably get messages on what you need to heal your soul and repair your soul. I mean, in the case of a very long, dark night of the soul and you're facing your own mortality, like Kirk, I just, I can't go on like this. Those are the kind of clients I get, and we repair. In some unbelievably extreme cases, we have to take out some bad energy, like a root canal and a tooth extraction. And it has to be done. But it's just unbelievably rare. And, that's shamanic work, retrieving the person's soul and kind of getting them around their body again, getting them back into their body, and or finding out why they left their body in the first place. The person can wholeheartedly have an experience that is so traumatic they just leave their body. And so they kind of show up on my doorstep and they're like, something's wrong and I don't know what it is. I'm like, yeah, you got knocked out of your body. Which is a lot more common than you would think, but there's varying degrees of being knocked out of your body. From active alcoholism, drug use, sexual rape, things that happen, seeing somebody die, the death of a loved one or a parent can make somebody leave their body. So you can leave your body, and then there's the situation where you get knocked out of your body. So those are two separate things. And so you have to read the entire arc of what happened to find out if they even should come back to their body, because sometimes putting them back in their body is going to create then another trauma. It's going to create another trauma. And so you should not put the person's spirit and heart, soul, self back into the body unless you're a seasoned healer and you know what the fuck you're doing. So don't ever go to a person that says, I'm a shaman, I took a class for a week and I can fix you. That's like, that would be like going to a 15-year-old and saying, can you get a pair of pliers and figure out how to pull my tooth? Like, you just don't even know. I mean, like, I've seen a couple shamanic butcher jobs, and it is so fucking not pretty what happens. It actually ends up being worse than the original trauma. So don't, my thoughts on shamanism are a whole other video, but sometimes the reading in and of itself has so much information that the person's been waiting for, they naturally will come back to their body and their dark night of the soul will wrap itself up. So I'm like really slated on other people's timelines. It may not always be me personally, like Kirk Kerber is on your timeline. A lot of times it is, actually. But it's slated on your lifetime to have a connection with your soul at 37 or 47, or to work with a guru or a coach or a mentor. That stuff is slated and is on your timeline. I can see a lot of times when you're going to meet a person. And it might not be for 3 years or 3 months. Like specifically like spiritual teachers coming into your life. Those things show up very easily. We're at 45 minutes. So I guess I'm going to put this on. It's, choose your reader very carefully. Not everybody is for everybody. At this point, the person has a consultation, and I just tell them I'm not for everybody. My readings are unbelievably dense. It's a life reading, and it's going to take you a year, and you're going to get some advisement. I get messages like, it's not so much about your grandma that's passed that wants to give you a message. It's a message from your soul. You are really basically compensating me to do this unbelievably intricate reading that is about your soul. And I interface with your higher God self and your spirit guides and even angels for you on your behalf. So it's heavy duty shit, you know. So yes, I use a variety of modalities to heal. One of them is the tarot. And I have been studying, reading, and teaching and mentoring the tarot for 35 plus years now. And I mean, like at that point, you would say, oh, he's a master. But I approach the tarot deck and astrology with reverence and with unbelievable reverence. There's always more to know. In those two esoteric systems, I do offer a free chart, and I'm not an astrologer per se. It's not my gift. My first gift is really to see, to hear, to know, and then the tarot double backs the messages up. It validates what I was thinking and feeling all along. So I will get the reading, I'll get the download. It may take up to 7 to 10 hours, and then I'll throw the cards and I'll say, okay, see this on the table? This is this. This showed up here. This is what I thought, and now it's here on the table in the cards as well. And then I also look at the person's chart. I look at their Lilith, their North Node, their Sun, Moon, and Rising. I look at their Venus placement. And I also look to see if they're in a Saturn return. If they're in some kind of return, a Saturn or a Jupiter return. We're getting close to wrapping it up. So we are in the age of Aquarius, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. So you've heard that song, or you've heard that phrase, or if you're in the business. But nobody can really agree about when it has started, if it started, and how long an age lasts. So we're leaving the age of Pisces. Pisces, which everybody's Pluto, I think, is the exact same for some reason. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we have been into the age of Pisces. And Pisces is really about sex and death and violence and subtext and poetry and beauty and addiction and alcoholism. And so we're leaving that and we're walking into the Aquarius. Mother Goddess, toxic masculinity is on its way out. Healthy masculinity is on its way in. Toxic femininity is on its way out. Healthy femininity is on its way in. Toxic religion and thought systems and rigid realities are on their way out. Flexible realities, the occult, a healthy relationship to darkness, those are all coming in. And some people said there was this thing, Hands Across America, and that was the beginning of the age of Aquarius. 200 and 300 years ago, mystics and psychics wrote about this time in the last 25 years, about how lucky we would be during this time to see all these vast changes and ushering in the age of Aquarius. So I don't know how long I would say it's definitely started. Some people say it lasts 500 years. Some people say it lasts 2,000 years. So we are coming into, and with the internet has completely put crack on everything, and it's put everything into hyper warp speed. So there's all that. So, people like me, my power is even stronger every day, more and more in the age of Aquarius, whereas before it was a contentious relationship with a psychic spiritual gift, whereas now we are encouraged. So it doesn't matter where you are. Only you know if you have the gifts and that you're slated to work with others. Because a lot of my clients are unbelievably gifted. I give them these life readings. They're never going to take a client. They're just as psychic as me. They're just as gifted of a healer as me. But for whatever reason, it's not on their plan to see clients, to see other people. That's like not what they're doing with their gift in this lifetime. I was meant to be working with people as a teacher. And, I'm hiding in plain sight. I really do not like to tell people, other than YouTube videos and Zoom meetings. But if I just meet somebody, like at a party or something, go figure. We're still in the middle of COVID, so I'm not going to many parties. But, people ask me, what do you do? I just say I'm a therapist. Because I'm just not going to tell this person you're a trance medium unless it comes up. Because I don't want people to know, because I don't want to be attacked, There was like so much attack. So in a lot of people, their upper centers are evolved. And the kids in their 20s that are being, born and in their 20s, teens and 20s, their psychic centers are all open and evolved. So they don't have to go through all these breakdowns and try to repair and try to rewire the person to get, this God, love, purple, Aquarian energy coming through them. They're already channeling it. Whereas like in my case, I was a natural born psychic medium and healer. But, I got a lot of damage. I was so sensitive. I didn't know how to take care of myself. I became an active drug addict, alcoholic. And I was traumatized a lot just by entry into my body and this reality. And so, en masse, the entire planet is trying to clean up that fucking mess. Cut ties with toxic ancestors, cut ties with family members that they're not woke. They don't get it. They're not woke. It's dead weight. So is everybody psychic? Yes. Is everybody supposed to be like a Kirk Kerber, where you've dedicated 40 years of your life to pursuing metaphysics and spirituality and wisdom and mentorship and work with people and answer their questions in a 45-minute session that will heal their lives? No. And so I really encourage you to go to my forum, our forum at Psychic Cora at Psychic Medium Space. You can ask any question and you'll get like 20 to 30 people answering, and I will answer a lot of the questions. And then that's it. My website is Kirk Spiritual. I've decided to make new content after 2 years hiatus during COVID, and I said I would do this. Right now, my spiritual practice on a daily basis is a wake up, and I set a timer for 20 minutes, and I sit there and I contemplate love. My spirit guides made it very clear to me, you need to contemplate love. So back to the breath. Shakti, 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 Namaste. My name is Kirk Kerber. I'm your interdimensional shamanic healer, psychic medium, spiritual advisor, trauma, certified trauma therapist, and world-class mentor advisor. And I'm just really glad to be here. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I have over, I don't know if it's 300 or 400 hours of content specifically and intentionally about magic, mysticism, herbs, healing, anything from alchemy to Zen that you can think of, and that's dedicated to your spiritual expansion. So, remember, I will see you next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. It's not about power, it's about grace. Shakti, namaste. If you want to make some comments, good or bad, yeah, that's great. I will answer every single one. Leave them down there. If there's something specific that you want me to talk about, just put it in a comment right there, and I will read all the comments, and eventually I will get to them. If you want to send me an email, Kirk TV, like television, kirktv@gmail.com, and I will see you guys next time in the Cyber Temple of Love. I am sending you infinite amounts of unconditional love in every reality imaginable. Shakti, namaste.